Welcome to the VOD Squad, episode 136. My name is Matt, and I'm here, on air date June 12th, 2019, and I'm here with Clyde.
What's up?
Hi, Clyde. And I'm here with Jimmy. How you doing, Jimmy?
Hey, Matt. How's it going?
It's going fine. I'm running the show tonight because... why am I running the show, Clyde?
Because I'm at my lake house. I didn't feel like doing the show this
week. You have a lake house? Is this
this week I do.
Oh, is this like your evil second lair or something like this?
Well, if it was, I wouldn't have invited this studio audience.
We got a studio audience? Rock on! Hey, tell us who's all there.
So, we've got a Mr. Routing Wonk. We've got a B. Coford. And a W. Scottus 1.
Hey!
And if you guys yell loud enough, we can hear you over Clyde's mic, so...
I don't encourage them, because then they'll be yelling throughout the show.
Oh, no, I want to encourage them, please. This is going to be excellent.
Well, if that's the case, I can just walk away.
Who wants to take the chair? Somebody take the chair.
Open mic.
Oh, all right, fine. I'm back.
Nobody was brave enough to fill in your spot, Clyde.
I saw him moving, and I went, nope.
Well, maybe next time, because we need to. We're going to be having a twofer soon, where we might be needing an extra guest. Who knows? Well, I hope you all had a wonderful day. My day was crazy and hot, and I don't know if it's hot where you guys are, but it is ridiculously hot here.
It's been beautiful.
I'm so happy for you.
Me too.
Today was a really hot and craziness today. So, and today was the day we went outside and went to a national park. So it's nice and hot.
So somebody throw the hot emoji. I don't know if you can. Yeah, never mind. I thought they had it in Twitch too, but.
They don't have They don't have all the emojis in Twitch. What's wrong with them?
Well, it's a custom one. It's
okay. Gotcha. So, we should probably start with the news. Why don't we go ahead and start with that? We're gonna start with the announcement that it looks like Fox Sports will be taking over for Women's World Cup, and they are going to be streaming every single game and available to you in 4K. This means that you will be able to see everything that's going on here. And sorry, I'm trying to catch up here. It looks like that they're going to be taking over the FIFA Cup this year, and the license that allows them to have full control over the entire stream. You'll be able to get it on Roku Premium, Roku sticks, and you'll be able to get it on Apple TV. And looks like if you really want to get your Women's World Cup, you're going to have available to you, available in streaming glory.
I got to say, this is probably really exciting for the 10 people that watch Women's World Cup.
Yeah, there's more than 10.
Well, it is cool that it's in 4K, though, right? I mean, are all the sports streaming 4K nowadays?
Probably not all of them.
There's been a push. NFL has said that they wanted to. They were doing 4K during the Super Bowl this year, and we're getting there.
Yeah.
So the question is there any? I mean, sports tends to be the first pushers for these newer technologies, because when people want to watch their games, they want to watch it in the greatest and best stuff. So, is there any sports that aren't in 4K? Is probably the better question.
Well, there's plenty of sports that shouldn't be in 4K, like bowling.
Absolutely, that
billiards
should not be in 4K.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right. But what should be in 4K is the announcement that Google made about Google Stadia. We've been waiting for this. Google Stadia was finally announced Thursday last week, just after our show, so we didn't get to say anything about it except for it's coming, with some actual details about what is happening. Google Stadia will be coming out with many different formats. The first one you'll be able to get is called the Founders Edition, which will cost $130. That $130 gets you one of these cool blue controllers, a Chromecast Ultra, 3 months worth of their higher end service, the Pro service, and also 3 months for you to share with somebody else, and at least one free game, which would be Destiny 2, out of the box. And you will be one of the first ones to be able to use the service, and you will be one of the first ones to pick your name for that service. After that, they will be coming out with the normal Pro version of it, which will be $10 a month, where you can spend $10 a month and get up to 4K and get HDR with that quality. And then later, next year, they're planning on releasing a third version of it, which is going to be free. It means you're going to be able to, as long as you somehow own the copy of the game for Stadia, you will be able to
buy it. You buy the game.
You will buy. You'll either buy the games through the store, or, as we will transition here, possibly turn on some type of subscription service for it, and you will be able to use the base free solution of Stadia with up to 1080p and 30 frames per second. So basically, it's the console is in the cloud. The console doesn't cost you anything if you take the lower end one. The console will cost you $10 a month if you want the 4K one, but you still have to buy your games. I really have wanted to know what you guys think of this streaming platform idea.
I'm interested in this. I see the potential. I am completely baffled, though, by the fact that this is based on the Chromecast, because that would not be the first device that would come to mind. If they'd said this was going to be on Android TV, I get that, because a lot of the Android TVs have pretty decent hardware. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's in a Chromecast, but I don't believe it's enough.
See,
so
you're still thinking
that's the thing that
you're still thinking that the Chromecast is actually doing the rendering.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying. My initial thought, and I until we actually use it, I'm just suspicious. That's all. I'm suspicious. I'm probably going to sign up for this because I definitely need my name, and I definitely want that. Even if I never use it, I want that like icon or avatar or whatever that you're going to get, the pin on your profile that shows that you're one of the early adopters. Yeah, I when they first read about this, I expected, this is something that I can run on the Android TV, because I played lots of games on the Android TV, and it makes perfect sense. I already have the hardware and everything, but yeah, we'll see.
So, Jimmy, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I think is it going to be a success? I think it is. It's just, to what degree is still the question in my mind, right? I mean, I think it'll do pretty well. I just don't know if it'll be a big blockbuster hit or, just do okay.
Right. Okay. So here's my thoughts on this whole thing. I think that it's a possibility that cloud gaming as a service will be a billion-dollar business. I think that possibility is very real. It's also a possibility that it could fizzle out and be nothing. In fact, I personally don't know if I ever want to go into a cloud service because I like owning my games. I like being able to physically hold on to them and pass them down to my son when I'm done with them, kind of thing. Not something you really get to do it, especially any kind of service you basically never get a hold of. Same thing with movies. I tend to like to hold on to my movies and actually have a disc. That's how I feel.
We talked about that last week, and I'm actually thinking about that point for the last week, but that was the same thing that a lot of people said with Netflix.
Exactly.
But how much of the stuff do you watch on Netflix do you actually go out and buy afterwards?
Exactly. It's a very good point.
And there's nothing worse than spending money on a game. You go, this is going to be great. I'm super excited. You get it. It's terrible. You can't get your money back. With the streaming services, Like with this, you could do. I think the fact that they're going to have the free tier and the subscription tier is great, because the subscription tier will let you go in and try out every game that you possibly want to.
Right.
And the ones that you actually like and you want to own, you can buy them, and then you don't need to keep the subscription. You'll be able to continue to play those games that you bought. I think it removes a lot of the risk. On that end.
Well, so let me ask this question. So what's the big hook for this service for users to stay with them? Right?
So,
do they have the big hook to keep them in there?
So the other part of this that's been an announcement is that, sure, Stadia is going to let you buy games from Stadia to play whatever you want. And once you've bought the game, let's say you buy Destiny 2, and because you love Destiny 2, and you bought it, it's yours. You could then, at that point, use the free version to play your game streaming to your device, whatever device is compatible. Basically anything that runs Chrome. Anywhere, on your phone, on your TV, on your computer, on other devices in the future. I mean, can't wait till it's on my car's on-screen display, of course.
So to Jimmy's question, though, I think the big hook is going to be availability, because you don't have to drop a big $500 chunk of money right at the beginning to get in. So, there are people that probably wanted a PS4 when the day it came out, but they had to wait a couple years because their parents weren't going to buy it for them. Okay. Something like this is a little bit more palatable. Even at the Founders Edition, it's $130 with all the extra stuff. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'd say low barrier to entry.
So I get that, but there's other competing services like this too, right? So right. What's the big hook over all the other services?
So it depends if it's good. If it's good, that's going to be the thing. Okay. It'll be the first one that is good.
I mean, I guess let me compare it to something more like what I know. So you look at all the music streaming services, right? They all give the same music, right? Is it just so that, okay, well, I'll try each one until I find one I like and just stick with them?
Potentially. There are going to be people that do it just because it's Google. Already invested in the Google ecosystem, mm-hmm. They're going to do it. And then you'll, just like if Apple does the same thing, you'll have people that'll just do it because it's Apple. Other people, there will be some sort of benefit. Like, I assume there's going to be some sort of platform exclusive at some point. Mm-hmm. Yep. Those deals are yet to be made, but based on history in this, that's bound to happen. Mm-hmm. The availability of titles, because not every platform has the same available licensing deals. Just like it's the difference is why do you choose Netflix between Hulu, between any of those, or mm-hmm. Or the over-the-top services like DirecTV Now versus PlayStation Now. Mm-hmm. They give you pretty much the same thing. Why do you choose the one?
The good thing is, you'll be able to try them all out, right? I mean, that's the beauty of having all these services, right?
This one though, as opposed to other ones, this one has hardware requirements that you need to buy the Chromecast
or have
at the very least, or at least have one. Whereas some of the other ones work with your desktop computer.
This one will work with a desktop computer too. Just runs like Chrome.
That's right, it does.
And it works and it will work on many phones, but at first it's only going to work on the Pixel 3s. Mm. But here's the thing. Again, this may be a $1 billion plus business. This may mm-hmm. be a failed business. We don't know. And if Google is trying desperately to figure out other big revenue streams besides search, essentially. And this could be a giant revenue stream for them. This is why Google's stepping into this field, because if it blows up, and even if they only get a piece of that revenue, because there might be xCloud from Microsoft is on its way, and they might have 3,000 games out of the box from Xbox games to be able to stream, and we know that other companies might be doing it too, like Sony's got their streaming service, but they want to have a piece of this pie. They are stepping up in a big way. They just can't step away. Google, don't do that stupid thing where you go, it's not working, never mind. Don't you dare do that.
Yeah. You hit on something that I completely forgot about, that this will run on multiple platforms. So this will allow you, if you're playing a game on your Chromecast, you can save the game, then pick the game back up on your desktop.
Yep.
And if you're on the bus riding someplace, you can pick up that same game on your cell phone or your tablet. The promise is true platform, availability across platforms, which is something that nobody has really delivered on thus far. So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm interested. We'll see.
So as the story evolves over the week, they found out that they were going to talking about Stadia being an option for companies to stream their games over instead of you buying the game, instead you would subscribe to a service. And that service would let you get the games, like we were discussing before. And we got our first one announced, which was, of course, Ubisoft with their new Uplay Plus service, which is a service that allows you to play on your PC, kind of like the EA's service there. I forget what they call it. The All Access service, I believe it is. Which they have for the PC, and they're launching for the PlayStation 4, and I think they have it on Xbox already, where you can pay a monthly fee and get an access to a bunch of their games. But Ubisoft is saying, we have this new Uplay Plus system, and we're including Stadia as one of those options, which means you could pay a monthly fee and get all of those Ubisoft games and pay nothing for Stadia because, use the free service on it, or you pay $10 a month for your 4K version of that and play it on your Mac because your Mac doesn't have a good video card that can play these awesome games, but you can play it on Stadia. So this kind of solution of them kind of like laying the groundwork of, hey, you can buy them through us, or you can get them through somebody else, and we'll be the company that provides the cloud service, and we'll just take a kickback from the other company. This is a really good idea. This finally makes sense if you want to do this. So this, if they can get more people on board, more than just Uplay Plus, if they can get EA on board, if they can get Blizzard on board, if they can get all these different companies on board to bring their games to this, and Bethesda has their Orion they were talking about on their announcement, which is designed for streaming. They didn't say Stadia specifically, but you could imagine it definitely is coming to at least the Xbox and or to Stadia. So who knows? This could be a huge, huge thing because games are huge. And this is Google saying, we want a piece of that pie. We don't know how big we can get. We're going to try to get as much as we can. Maybe we won't get it all. Maybe this will fizzle out. But we want to, if it's a big thing, we want to be in there. And I think they've got it. This finally makes sense.
Yeah.
Good
it should do it.
job.
It should do it. Yeah, it should do at least as good as Google Plus.
For what it's worth, I am deeply saddened by Google Plus.
Me.
It was amazing.
Me too.
It was not what they wanted, but it became something that was truly amazing. It was a forum without drama. From my experience, it was awesome.
I agree. It was not. It was a pretty good solution for what we wanted it to be. All right. Also, what came out of E3 this week, so Final Fantasy actually decided that they would drop onto almost all the streaming services the Final Fantasy music. So you will be able to go ahead and go on to almost any of the various streaming services and ask for that favorite Final Fantasy song that you really liked, and it should be available for you. My question is, can I get my favorite Final Fantasy music and chip tunes from them? Can I get the original SNES version of it instead of their orchestrated version that they have now? I don't know, but that'd be nice.
That's really cool. I have realized over the years that RPG soundtracks
are awesome,
on par, very, very, very good, and I credit them for my love of like symphonic metal and more of that style of metal that I listen to, and yeah, it's I didn't play a lot of the Final Fantasy games. I was in other franchises, so I hope Star Ocean and Xenogears and some of those others will follow suit, because they're all the same company now. They're all Square Enix, and yeah, I want to see more of this.
So it has to be said.
I did not. Okay, until last summer.
Okay.
I had no idea. I thought that was a Mario thing.
No,
because I didn't play those games. Last summer we had an overnight. They were rebuilding our data center at work, and I brought my RetroPie, and I decided to go and try playing the very first Final Fantasy movie, and I beat the first battle, and it played that music, and I went, oh, that's where this came from.
Yeah. B. Kefford says I should have gotten the real music and put it on the soundboard. Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, hindsight, right?
Sorry. All right.
Give me your sound. I'll just plug it
AT&T
in.
is looking at their streaming bundle for their HBO/Cinemax system, where they're looking to put in the various properties they own, their Cinemax and their HBO, into one single bundle, and they're looking at making it cost $16, maybe $17. I feel like we might have talked about this last week. I don't remember. But would you be willing to spend that much money for...
Actually, that is a really good deal, considering that HBO Now is like $16 on its own.
Yeah, I guess you're right. That's a
so anybody that is currently subscribing to HBO Now should just switch over to this.
When it becomes
it's
available.
a no-brainer. You're going to get more stuff for the money you're already paying.
Maybe you're right. I don't know. Well, we still need to see the service and what it looks like and what it entails. So it's still rumorville. But if you think it's a good deal, you're probably right.
I mean, if they're going to give you HBO and Cinemax and whatever else, I mean, just that by itself, you're now getting two services for the same price.
Right.
Sure.
Very cool. All right.
It might be worth a try.
So, DC Universe, they've decided that, they were going to do these cool DC Universe shows based on the comic books. And they had this one for Swamp Thing. And they said, all right, let's send the Swamp Thing out for the first episode. It's going to be great.
I'm super excited about that. I remember watching the Swamp Thing TV show from the late 80s.
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing that.
So when does it air?
It already aired the first episode, but I'm sorry, they're going to go ahead and cancel everything after the season because I actually don't know why did they cancel. Did it really do that badly?
Yeah, it aired on June 6th.
It says here, it's puzzling because it's given that the show's received a warm reception for both critics and fans. Really? So in other words, they canceled it for no good reason. Yeah, what does that say about DC Universe? I mean, is DC Universe looking for only hits? I mean, I don't know.
This show, regardless, this show joins the long list of other shows that were canceled after one episode.
That's right. There, you guys look this up. There are several of those.
Yeah, you don't need to do that, but for those of you that check the show notes, I've put a link in there. You can check on Wikipedia. Just do a search for canceled after first one episode. The list of shows canceled after one goes back.
Wow.
There's a lot of the canceled after 2 episodes were shows that I loved. So no surprise there. And yeah, well, we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm curious. There has to be something going on behind the scenes, especially if it was received warmly.
Yeah, but that means people liked it. That doesn't mean it had a lot of viewers.
Did somebody get Me Too'd? And we don't know about it yet.
You think it's something political like that? Like there's
we got a
we need to cancel this. Yeah, maybe.
And you can't write out Swamp Thing out of the Swamp Thing show.
Hold on.
You're doing a search for the guy that did Swamp Thing to see if he got arrested.
No,
okay.
I just had to put a title of Swamp Thing.
Everybody, get your sharpen your pitchforks and get your torches ready, because we may need to storm the DC offices.
Yeah, because of a giant green monster who's a creation. Oh, never mind.
It's okay. I like the Toxic Avenger better.
I remember that show too. Maybe that's the one I remember watching when I was a kid. Anyways,
that one was a cartoon though. They did a bunch of Toxic Avenger movies, which are definitely movie party quality.
Yes, they were.
The cartoon, Toxic Avengers, and it was like a team. That was a Saturday morning thing that was okay.
So, if you liked bad movies on the television, maybe you will like the new Uncharted that is finally being released. The release date has been released. Actually, I don't know what the release date is. December 18th, 2020, which means you will finally be able to see Uncharted in the big theaters, starring Tom Holland. Really? You're going to have Spider-Man on there. That's pretty
Spider-Man is Drake?
Yes.
Nice. I have enjoyed the Uncharted series. I've never completed any of them.
I never played a single one, but I've wanted to. Everybody said it's so good.
It's very... it's got a lot of the stuff that I love about Indiana Jones. That style of like romancing the stone. That style of kind of sarcastic lead guy that, just can't seem to win. For every time he succeeds, something happens to kind of undercut. And it's fun. I do not have any faith that this is the movie that will break the trend of video game movies. But if past movies have shown, I'm probably going to like it. So I'm sorry, Tom Holland, your movie is not going to make any money.
Oh, no! The rule of Clyde! No! Actually, you never know. You might watch it and hate it, so it might do really well.
I might hate it. So then that would be like touted as the movie that changed everything. It'll be like the Avengers of video game movies.
Very cool. All right. Well, Epix has is the most recent one of the various streaming channels that you would normally pay through your cable company to join the legion of streaming people with Amazon Prime. It seems like you can now get everything at Amazon Prime now. We tell you everything.
I believe this is the last stop. This is the last stop for Epix, because we talked about it coming to the other platforms
That's true.
months ago.
That's true. We did say it was coming up to the other one, so maybe they finally get that.
But I know they already had their own streaming app, because I was watching Epix. I was watching Epix on something, and I thought I was watching it through Amazon Prime, and that was last year. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Epix. I keep getting these alerts for stuff, and it's like, but that's already a thing.
Yeah.
Isn't it? I'm just wrong.
I actually don't know.
I'm never wrong.
No, Clyde, you're never wrong. But I don't know. Maybe you like getting your news from Los Angeles. CBS N, which is the streaming service that they've launched, doesn't seem like very long ago, started off with only one single station for you to choose, which was in New York City. And now they've announced that they've got a new one.
New York City?
They now have one available for you to watch on the West Coast from...
Thank you.
Yeah. See, so now you will be able to get CBS and with an option to watch it from Los Angeles as well. So that's still the free service, still live only from a certain number of hours of the day. I forget what their hours are, but it's just during the workday basically. And
So-
yeah, you'll be able to choose a national free service from CBS for your news, either on East Coast or West Coast time now.
So now you can be lied to from both coasts.
Or you can go ahead and watch,
Congratulations.
or you can watch it on the East Coast and wait 3 hours and get the same thing on the West Coast. Oh, there you go. That's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. So more news from E3 this month or this week. Tom Clancy's got their Division, which is a really popular game that's out right now. It's kind of a looter shooter. And they've been working on a new version of the storyline as a movie that's going to be coming to Netflix. It looks like they've got Jessica Chastain and Jake Gyllenhaal as on board to be on it. So I don't know if this is going to be a multi-part movie or are they going to just try to do a 2-hour movie for this. We'll see. It'd be interesting to see because more games coming to your big screen. Here's the thing: do you think they'll ever make a good video game movie?
I don't know. It's possible.
Have they ever made a good video game movie?
I don't think they ever have.
When I was
not one that was critically. I mean, because the original Tomb Raider movie was considered okay. I don't know how it's held up with John Voight and his daughter Angelina.
Yeah.
And then the last one I don't think was great, but
so if the one video game movie when I saw it when I was a teenager was Mortal Kombat, and I thought that was a really good movie. The first Mortal Kombat. Watching it since, it has not held up well.
I think it held up a little bit better than Street Fighter.
Probably, but it was decent for what it was for its time. But
yeah, Street Fighter with Jean-Claude Van Johnson, right? I mean, that was pretty good, right?
Don't bring up Jean-Claude Van Johnson. I'm still bitter. I am still bitter about that one. That show was awesome. And then you found out at the end that Felicia Rashad was the big bad. And we didn't get to see her as the villain. I don't know. But is the Division thing, is that a series or is it a movie?
So the Division, I don't know. And my guess is since they're calling it a movie, it is going to be an actual movie.
Oh, okay. When I first heard about this, I thought it was going to be a series, which
probably would work better.
I could see that would work pretty well, especially if you're forging into new territory new stories that exist in the world that's already been established,
right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you've got stuff to work off of, but you're not beholden to specific stuff. And then that could work great as a series. I don't know about a movie though.
Yeah, me neither. Well, what do you think about Dune? Do you think Dune deserves its own series? Because Warner Media is working on a series that will actually accompany their new Dune movie. I didn't know they were making a new Dune movie.
They've been making this new Dune movie for 20 years. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know, but this one will be called Dune: The Sisterhood, which is talking about the various things that are going on behind the scenes of the Dune movie. So it will be a parallel to the movie, so you will be able to get more backstory.
So this is their solo movie.
Are you referencing Solo the movie? Or okay.
Yes, I guess this would be more of a Rogue One.
Apparently, the movie proper will be a remake of the movie. This streaming series will be the
that's what I'm talking about. It'll be more of their Rogue One. So for the remake of the movie, are they going to get Sting to reprise his role?
If he doesn't, I will be slightly disappointed.
And I will say, I've watched both the original movie and the Sci-Fi Channel miniseries.
I did not watch that.
It's actually was decent. Because it was over like 4 2-hour episodes. I think was the length. so they had more time to flesh things out a little bit. It's obviously a lot lower budget, but I thought it was decent. But I never read the book. I don't have that long history of love for the story, so I'd be more accepting to and not. Not clear on stuff that was wrong.
I was introduced into Dune with the movies that was in the late 70s, early 80s. And then I read the book. And so I do know what a muad'Dib is. It's a little mouse. And I thought the book was a lot better than the movie, quite frankly. I mean, it is a good book. They really skipped over tons of stuff in the movie that I saw. I never watched the sci-fi one.
I would recommend it. I'd recommend it. The only reason I watched it was I was at a used record place and they had it's like 4 to 6 discs, and I got it for like $2.
Oh. I
was like, can't go wrong.
Okay.
And I watched it at work, so I got paid to consume it. So there was no downside, even if it was terrible.
Yeah, the spice. Consume the spice at work. You spicy man. Okay. Moving on. So, Steven Spielberg and his whole thing about streaming and how Oscars and shouldn't be this man is such a hypocrite. He's he is making a new show. It's a horror show. It's on that streaming service Quibi, which we talked about last week. Apparently they get a whole bunch of cool new things, but specifically his show, you can only stream during the night because then it's scarier. I mean,
okay.
So, what?
I feel a little bit angry because first Steven Spielberg is trying to throw his weight around telling us what shows or movies should be allowed to get an award. Now he's telling us when we're allowed to watch a thing he made.
It's you have to watch it in the theater too because it's when and where so far.
Yeah,
he hasn't told you how yet.
But now he's trying to exert his power over when we are allowed to watch his creation. So I don't know. Spielberg will be in my living room. Yeah. So W. Scott says soon. Spielberg will be in his living room.
No, he will. No. He will just set it up some way that you cannot watch his movie in your living room unless you put your couch upside down on your ceiling and sit on it that way.
So what if you change the clock on your streaming player to be a different time? Will it then let you?
It's an excellent question.
Or will Steven Spielberg bust through your door and say, "I know it's not nighttime,"
or
turn that off?
What if you're using some type of VPN to make it look like you're somewhere where the time is different?
Like Antarctica, where it's always nighttime?
Oh, good point. Those poor Antarctica people. There's a whole season. They're not going to be able to watch the show. They're going to be like, dang you, Steven! Excellent point, man.
Yes. He's biased against people in northern Alaska and...
Looks like BET, everybody's favorite station, is finally launching their own TV streaming service that will be available on the various streaming devices. They are going to be using original content from Tyler Perry, and it will be something that they are going to be launching, I don't know, when are they going to do? According to Variety, you will feature shows like The First Wives Club and other different shows. So this is BET. They're coming to the game. It feels like almost everybody has joined the circus now, haven't they?
Circus is a very apt term.
Hey, not my circus, not my monkeys.
I mean, anybody that's not present at this point, you just have to wonder why. Why don't you care enough?
Yeah, I suppose you could say that, but
because I mean, it's not a thing like they have to figure out how to do it anymore. It's not like they're waiting for the hardware or the adoption of the hardware. BET. Why? All I have to ask is why did it take so long?
That streaming thing's just a fad anyway.
Yeah, it's totally true.
Yeah, but that's beside the point.
And with that, that is the end of our news. So thank you very much for joining us for the news this week. And this is the point where we like to take just a moment and thank the people who make this possible.
Thank you.
Exactly.
All right.
Those are Peanut Gallery, are also, I believe many of them, are our patrons. I think, are they all our patrons? Anyways.
Supporters on Twitch.
Yeah, absolutely. They're all our patrons. One way you look at it.
One form or another.
Exactly. So this show would go on without their support, but it makes it so much easier and better when we do get the support. So we thank you very much from the bottom of our heart. And if you aren't supporting the show and you feel like you'd like to, because, hey, sometimes we're funny, you can go to patreon.com/thevodsquad to show us the love. And I'm getting a very interesting face from Clyde there for how I said that.
Oh, no, you said sometimes we're funny, and I went, really?
Yes, sometimes. Not always. Sometimes we're very serious. And every once in a while, we like to yell into the camera, too. It's weird.
You know what I'm really serious about?
What?
The movie draft.
You're serious? Are you serious?
Absolutely. I'm so serious that nobody can catch me. Why don't you just put on Big Voice Jay and let him explain to us just how awesome I'm doing?
Tell me, Big Voice Jay, how awesome is he doing?
Welcome to your Movie Draft Minute, presented by DiamondClub.tv for the week of June 10th, 2019. I'm your host, Big Voice Jay, brought to you by Constipation, when you just don't give a crap. Let's go to the scoreboard. Team Drunk Kids Gaming is in last place with $21.9 million. Team The VOD Squad gets $39 million from Dark Phoenix, and 5th place with $147.9 million. Team GameNet gets 4th place with $179.1 million. Team Retro Misery gets $59 million from The Secret Life of Pets 2, and 3rd place with $403.4 million. Team Average Rank is in 2nd place with $769.1 million. And in 1st place, it's Team Movie Party with $1,196.1 million.
We know.
So that's your Stream Team Movie Draft Minute. That was a record as of June 12th, 2019.
I don't want to go.
But you're allowed to.
But I'm gonna. I don't want to, but I'm gonna. I mean, it's my role to play.
You're what, 400 million ahead of anybody? And the next team behind that is almost 400 million behind them. So...
Well, I mean, that's old news anyway. What the real interesting thing is who's going to get third? Because I think we got a legitimate third.
Wow, we've downgraded from who's going to get second to who's going to get third. Oh, man, that's sad.
Well, I mean, come on. Let's get real here. I don't think we're going to catch the second place guys either.
At this point, we are in trouble. And
Will had something to say real quick. What was that, Will?
we know it's really sad. We understand.
Game night with the $69 long shot or $63 long shot. I guess maybe that did pay off. It's keeping you ahead of the the mod squad.
So, right now we just had this weekend where we got to see this awesome movie called Secret Life of Pets 2 beat the heck out of our movie, Dark Phoenix, which we thought would do some decent numbers and, be okay. And as we get now, we're at $40 million. I mean, just under $40 million. I mean, seriously.
At a weekend, yeah.
Well, hey, I mean, we still got Men in Black.
We have Men in Black, we have Yesterday, and we have Hobbs and Shaw. Those three movies will do a decent job of pushing us up a little bit from where we are now.
Hobbs and Shaw is going to get my movie pass money. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, actually, I suspect it will actually do pretty well. Out of all the movies we've picked, I think Hobbs and Shaw is going to be our best performer. Unless Yesterday blows up.
I think Yesterday's going to do better than what people think it's
going to have to blow up, though, because Yesterday, the good news is we paid $3 for it. Worth every penny, absolutely.
How did you get that for $3? How did I not outbid you?
Because we put that much down and nobody wanted it. And we were like,
oh no, it was after I had bought everything.
It was
so
only
I
the.
out
It was.
probably.
I don't remember the order it was put in, but no,
Or,
it was the third movie. No, it was the third movie. We bought
No,
it
it was
for 11.
It was 11.
11, my mistake.
Oh, okay. I was like, how did I not outbid you if it was $3?
You know,
yeah, 11 makes sense.
11 makes more sense. So okay, so that's okay.
So that needs to make 110 million to break even.
Yeah, which I think it actually will. I think that one will be actually okay. It's the only problem with it is the fact that it doesn't have any big name actors, which can be a problem. But it's Beatles, so people kind of go nuts for that stuff. So we'll see.
And it's the weekend before 4th of July.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. Unfortunately. But yeah, yeah, so these three movies are basically deciding whether or not we're going to totally, completely crap our pants for the rest of this season here. So I don't know. Drunk Kids Gaming. What do they have left coming up? I'm sure they have lots. They have The Lion King. Yeah, they've got Toy Story 4. They got Child's Play. Yeah, they're gonna shoot up from the bottom here and become. We're going to be having some serious competition for last place here, basically, for us not to be in last. This is sad.
Yeah,
I'm very sad.
Well,
I am totally going to, last year, this time when we did this, I had my calculation sheet and how we did that. The time before we did some calculations, I didn't do nearly as nice calculations. Obviously, my calculations are wrong. I declare my calculations theories incorrect. And I am all for anybody trying to figure out a better way of doing the draft decisions here. I'm all for it.
Shaft. Will says Shaft is going to make 200 million, but it's going to make 200 million people go, I don't know if I want to see that movie.
Shut your mouth.
So you're right. There's 250 million people that aren't going to see it. Actually, more probably, but there's how many? 7 billion? Yeah. All right. Well,
yeah.
Should we move on to some rants and some raves?
Oh, man, let's just rant and rave about that. All right, guys. I gotta say something.
Mm-hmm.
I have been working very hard trying to get myself taken care of, so I get my house in order, my family all taken care of, and I don't get very much free time anymore to do anything. It feels like I get up, I go to work, I come home, we have dinner, and I go to bed. Once a week I do the show. I feel like my life has been consumed, and it feels like there wasn't anything good for me to watch at all on television, and there wasn't anything that was really being interesting to me. New season of what is it called?
Lucifer?
No, I didn't watch Lucifer. I still want to watch that, but my wife also wants to, and she's like, wait, I'm not ready to watch it yet. Okay, we'll watch it together. No, Designated Survivor.
Oh.
Designated Survivor, the first season was pretty darn good. I kind of fell off in the second season. Didn't really watch it. But then it's like, oh yeah, they canceled it. Netflix picked it up. Netflix said, we're going to come back with it. It's a new season. And
it became a Designated Survivor.
Yeah, sort of. And so we've been watching an episode a night since it came out. I think we're on episode 4 tonight. Anyways, we're just, since the whole season's out. It feels like West Wing, one of my favorite shows.
Wow.
So they changed the feel. You could tell it's Netflix because they've opened up a whole bunch of F-bombs and other things like that. They're allowing things to happen now. You never would have been on NBC. That's okay. I don't care. It's still a good show, and it feels like, the old show that I used to love. So out of everything else that's been keeping my life absolutely crazy, I'm so happy to have something like this.
Does it still have Maggie Q in it?
Maggie Q. I don't know who Maggie Q is. Is that the president's wife?
No, that's the FBI lady
Oh,
or whatever.
yes, she is. And I love how they transitioned her in the first episode. You will like that.
Then I watched the first 2 seasons, on NBC, but I knew that this was out there, but I haven't watched it yet, right? So I'll definitely probably check it out now if you like it.
I didn't watch season 2, so I don't know all the things she did, but apparently she got pretty handsy and did some bad things in like Europe, things like that. Anyways,
She did.
so they had to do something about that. And I absolutely love what they did. I'm not spoiling it. Maybe next week I'll spoil it if you want, but I saw it coming right when it happened. It was like, yep, it's exactly what I thought. So you'll enjoy it. That's me. Other than that, I'm tired. I'm hot. I'm done.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll go next because I think Cloud's got a good one there. So we'll save that for the grand finale.
Okay.
So I finished up the series of Chernobyl. Excellent.
Did it have a happy ending? I haven't watched it yet, and I have not been paying attention to spoilers because I don't know how it ends.
Well, I will say this: there's only 5 episodes to the series, right? And of course, I guess that's about all you need to tell the story of Chernobyl, right? But it was really well done. They did a really good job on it. Even my wife, who is Ukrainian, said that they told the story pretty true to life.
Oh, sorry, totally the wrong button.
Well, you pushed that button because you knew the question I'm about to ask.
No.
Okay, so.
No, go ahead. Go do what you're saying. If your wife's Ukrainian.
Yeah. So pretty true to life, and it was a good show, really well done. Something else I caught over the weekend was the movie Deadwood. Right? If you watched the HBO series Deadwood, I think it was like 3 seasons or something like that before, and I hadn't realized, but it'd been like 10 years.
Yeah, literally.
Since that 10 years since that show had went off the air, and so the movie just kind of picks up same characters now. It's just 10 years later, right?
Yeah.
And well done. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it. Almost the same. The characters are all the same. What they have on there and all of it, but really well done show there as well. So if you Deadwood fan, you need to go check out the movie. So, and now that I've watched all the shows on Showtime and Billions also, I watched that one. They had the finale.
That was a good end. That was a good finale.
It was a good finale on Billions, and I guess now I can go cancel my HBO and Showtime now.
Well, you've got a couple new HBO shows coming, but we'll see. I do have a Chernobyl question for you.
Okay.
I heard a long time ago that Chernobyl is where Mikhail Gorbachev got the thing on his forehead. Do they address that in the series?
Yeah. Detective Truman actually rubbed it off his head.
Or it put it on. I thought that. Okay.
It was
opening scene of The Naked Gun.
I thought it was one of those, those temporary tattoos you put on and you rub it, and then you peel the thing off and it stays there. Right?
Well, it's the one where it was supposed to be, but he didn't follow the instructions. It's like when you write on a whiteboard with a permanent marker and you go to erase it and you go, damn it.
You know how to fix that, right?
You buy a new whiteboard.
No. All right, I'll tell you later.
I'm just kidding, but yeah. So, all right. I have one rant. Yesterday, we all spent most of the day coming down here. This isn't a rant, which was good. It was between a 10, 11 hour drive ended up being for me. Got here, we got situated, did a couple runs into town, decided, hey, we need some food. There was a pizza place right down the street. It's literally just on the other side of the lake. And looked it up. It said open till 3 a.m. Awesome. We've got time. Portside Pizza, on Google, it says they're open till 3 a.m. But if you call them at midnight, they say, we've been closed for a couple hours now.
Oh.
You drive by the place 20 minutes later when you decide you have to go back into town to go to Taco Bell because they're still open. The sign on the outside of the building clearly says open. Portside Pizza in Columbia City, Indiana. What is your problem?
Maybe they just didn't want to serve you. I don't know.
I think it is. I think it's like either a bias or, I don't know if it's sexism or racism or just gender, like fluidity on their part. I don't know. They've got something's up with that place, and I want answers.
I don't know, Clyde. I keep thinking of that scene in the movie Easy Money with Rodney Dangerfield, where they're just really hungry and they want to go out and find something to eat. And they pull up to a restaurant open 23 hours a day, and they pulled up right on the 1 hour where they were closed.
Yes.
Big Voice Jay says, they have gluten-free pizza. Hard pass. Hey, I don't know if that's their only pizza. They might have gluten-full pizza, too.
I would like... so all of the gluten that was removed from the other pizzas ordered today, and put it into my pizza, please.
You know how they make gluten-free pizzas, right?
They write free on the gluten package.
Drew Nelson eats the gluten for free. No. They actually usually, when they make gluten-free pizza, they make it out of cauliflower.
I don't even want to make cauliflower out of cauliflower.
Yeah, I can actually see cauliflower working as like a thin crust or crispy thing.
Raw cauliflower is fine. Raw cauliflower is fine, but once you do anything to it, it becomes garbage.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Sorry you feel that way.
All right, that's it.
Yeah.
Portside Pizza, we will not do business with you unless we get hungry and you happen to actually be open. Then,
hey, maybe you'll go there when they're.
Not plan on doing.
Maybe they will give you all kinds of. Maybe it's the best pizza you've never had. Who knows? Well, with that is the end of our episode today. I hope everybody had a good time. I'm sorry for my goofs and flubs and all those other fun things that happen when I drive. Obviously, I'm drunk driving this show, so. Remember that you guys can go into showbot.tv, tvs.showbot.tv to vote on the titles. We will be making decisions at the end of the show here to decide which of these titles are the ones for this episode. And again, thank you all for watching, and thank you guys for coming on to the show today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and thanks, guys.
Woo!
Yeah!
Yeah!
I mean, we've got... Wonk came all the way down from Canada. He had to go through, get permission at the border to enter the country so he could come here.
Are you... So, did they ask if you were going to go to a podcast as part of your questionnaires?
I think that the correct answer to that would have been no.
Exactly. If you would have said yes, you're like, I'm sorry, you can't enter the country. You may only enter the country digitally. You are not allowed to enter. All right, well... Thanks again for that, and with that, I say good night, everybody, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.